What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the debut album, Adventure, from Madeon. He's an electronic music producer, house music, and he's from France. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this guy. A lot of people have been requesting, review Madeon, and I see that in the comment section all the time. And I was like, you know, maybe I'll check it out. I caved, and I could not be happier that I did. Madeon is a 20-year-old, yes, 20, that produces house music and electronic music of a very fun and almost ingenious nature, something that is putting him above his peers in the industry. It turns out I had actually heard several of his songs already without even knowing it. Finale, featuring Nick from Walk the Moon, one of my favorite bands currently. That's a track that's been out for a while now. And then of course there was a track that was used in a video game soundtrack. That one is called Imperium, and I think I had heard that one used in a few clips in the background of a couple of people's videos that I watched. So it was pretty cool to see it come full circle and me be like, oh, this is this guy. How come I never actually looked to see what that music was? How do I even begin to describe the sound of this record? I think one word that kind of sums it up is that it's colossal. The album truly lives up to its name, drawing influence from house and electronic music, the best of house and electronic music from the past few years, I should say, and just putting it all into one cohesive record, and it's just a roaring accomplishment. But John, there's at least 5 outside vocalists on this record. Doesn't that affect the album's flow? Well, quite the opposite, my friends. In fact, I'd say contributions from the likes of Passion Pit, Kyan, and Mark Foster from Foster the People definitely enhance this record rather than holding it back. The first 3 tracks on this record just really knock my socks off. I mean, you're bound to have a smile on your face while you're listening to these tracks. I think they draw influence from some of Zed's earlier work. I'm hearing Daft Punk on one of the tracks, and maybe a few synthy video game soundtrack influences trickling in. The intro track, Isometric, bleeds into the earworm You're On seamlessly, and then to the banger Okay so smoothly you'd swear all 3 of them were just one giant ball of good music. Yes, that is Charli Xcx that you're hearing in the background of the track Okay. She was not credited on that one, but in case you were wondering. The guest vocalists all do their job well here on this record, and I like that Madeon pulled a lot of them from the world of alternative music. From Dan Smith of Bastille to Akio, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, I think that they all add a little extra something to this album that just works undeniably well. The track that features Dan Smith manages to be a little bit more down to earth. It's titled Lune. It's a little bit darker, but still provides the listener with a memorable and worthwhile listening experience. The synth tones on this one fly from the stratosphere and back, with Dan Smith's voice matching the instrumental of this track exceptionally well. If you're into Passion Pit and you're a fan of more of their upbeat material, you're really gonna enjoy the track Pay No Mind. This track could easily be a huge worldwide hit. It's already working its way up the charts. It's one of those like party feel-good tracks that doesn't feel like sleazy or something that you would just hear at the club. It's something that you can throw on, roll down the windows, go out, have a good time with your friends too. I'm kicking myself for not discovering Madeon's music sooner because I'm just having so much fun while listening to not only Pay No Mind, but really this entire album. How about those 80s influences on the track Nonsense, which features Mark Foster? I think they're pretty effective, and I also like the line that Foster drops on this one, "I'd be coming with my guns up, shooting at the moon to bring the sun up." Ridiculous, yeah, maybe, but am I still having fun with the track? Duh. He doesn't need a guest feature to make a song work and flow well, though. He proves that, especially on the track Home, which is the closer for the standard edition of this record. This one feels a little bit more personal and features Madeon himself on the vocal duties. He also handles those on Zephyr and Beings, but I think that it's primarily most effective on the track Home, just because it feels like just reaching this huge pinnacle on this record and then closing it out in that fashion just seems like the perfect way to send it out. Not to discredit those other 2 tracks, but there is one that I'm enjoying a little bit less than the others, but none of them are necessarily throwaway tunes. If you're looking for an instrumental that shows off this producer's immense talents, then might I suggest the out-of-this-world Imperium. I bet the groundhog would pretend it didn't see its shadow just so summer would come a little bit quicker, because who wouldn't want to let loose and party to this marvelous jam? I mean, I assume that's what he'd do. Puxatawny Phil and I are no longer on speaking terms. I wouldn't review his mixtape. I hear some possible traces of Daft Punk in the delectable tune Pixel Empire. There's no way that's just me hearing that, right? I mean, I think it's definitely another gem on the record Adventure. However, there are a couple of tunes that don't work quite as well for me here on this record, the first of those being Innocence. I think the slower tone of the track makes it feel a little bit more bland in my eyes when compared to the majority of the other album's track. Zephyr, I think that's right, is one that didn't really hit me in a special way either, feeling more like a standard, a little bit more basic dance track that could have been made by any number of producers. But hey, if those are the biggest complaints that I can come up with, then clearly this man is doing something right. I mean, I haven't enjoyed a dance record this much since, well, I guess it hasn't been that long. I mean, if we're counting the Purity Ring album, that is. But in terms of like an all-out, just like fun feeling, mostly upbeat dance album, it's definitely been a while. Madeon knows how to capture the listener's attention immediately, build them up to the chorus, and then pay off in the best way possible. I can see myself coming back to this record all summer long, and then even after that. Roll the windows down, crank up Adventure to the maximum volume, and I guarantee that you will have a good time. For me, this album is a 4.5. There's a lot of albums to cover this week, guys, and I did want to get out a review of Madeon, and thank you to all who requested it. It just goes to show that yes, I do check out and hear your suggestions. Sometimes I can't always do it, but I wanted to check out this one because so many of you guys were talking it up, and I'm glad I did. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Hit the like button on this review. If you did enjoy it, subscribe to the channel maybe if you'd like to see more of my content. Thank you to all of you who already have. If you'd like to consider helping out the channel with a donation, it's that top link in the description down below. It'll take you over to my channel, and there's a little thing in the top right corner that you can click where it says support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.